Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great week. Today's Monday, March the 3rd. I'm just now getting my March baits videos put out. The first, we was in Branson at a cheer competition, and then yesterday we was at the baseball field all day. Watched one grandson play a couple of games, and then watched the other grandson play a couple of games. And so anyway, spent the whole weekend doing something with the kids, and it's always fun to get out and do things with them, and especially go watch some baseball games. Anyway, well, we'll get right to it. I'm sitting here in line to get the kids from school, so we'll get to it before time for them to come and get in the car. Got to move up a little bit. Time to move up in line. Anyway, March is springtime bass fishing. It's what everybody waits for all winter long, is for March to get here and for it to warm up and the fishing start getting better and get rid of these cold water temperatures. Right now, the lakes here in the northwest Arkansas regions all in the anywhere from 43 to 48 degrees. From what I've heard, and I had a friend go over to Spavinaw in Oklahoma, and it was 43 over there. Had a friend on Beaver yesterday that said it was 47 something, and so the water temperatures still in the 40s, but the days are getting longer. We got more sunshine during the day, thank goodness, and it's going to help start warming things up. Also been having warmer weather. We had some 70-degree days there for a while and lows in the 50s, so I knew that would start helping the water temperatures. But anyway, March is here. Exciting time. I'm ready to pick up the spinnerbait, and either this first part of March, while the water's still pretty cold, be slow rolling Colorado blade spinnerbait, usually a white and chartreuse, or a white chartreuse and blue. Slow roll it around laydowns, rock piles, boat docks, just any kind of cover that's in the water. You can slow roll them around bridge pilings, anything like that. Just slow roll that spinnerbait and catch you some big fish on the spinnerbait. A lot of people will still be throwing the jerk bait. I hate a jerk bait, so if I can get away from it, I am going to put that box up for the rest of the season. I'm done with it. My next bait will be a crankbait. Shad Rap. This, while the water's still this chilly, Shad Rap works really well. Berkeley Flicker Shad works really well. Some of the flat-sided crankbaits work really well. I'll be throwing the Shad Rap Flicker Shad DT6, 8, or 10, and also a rock crawler. With water temperatures warming up, I'll be throwing more crawdad colored baits, anywhere from the reds to the browns to the greens, just any kind of crawdad colored crankbait. A lot of people throws the red this time of year, so I think the fish gets conditioned to seeing that red bait. So I try to throw other colors. Goodness, excuse me. Like a the Phantom Green rock crawler. Any of the green and browns crankbait colors. I'll also still be throwing the shad colored shad wraps and flicker shads and DT 6, 8, and 10s. My main crawdad colors will be throwing in the rock crawler or the DTs, the Rapala DTs. That's my second bait that I'll be throwing this time of year. Third bait, especially toward the end, it's kind of a split. It's two baits, but I kind of put them in the same category. Especially farther into March when the water temperature gets up closer to 50, I'll be throwing a swim jig or a vibrating jig. Both of those is awesome baits in the spring. If you're around more heavy cover, the swim jig seems to come through a little better than the vibrating jig. I just like throwing a swim jig. I have caught some monster bass on a swim jig, and they're just a fun bait to fish. I'll be throwing in a throwing a shad color unless the good grief, excuse me again, unless the water's dirtier, then I may go to something like a chartreuse and white, something that'll really show up well in that dingier water. For a trailer, goodness, for a trailer on my swim jigs, I like to throw a Zoom. Can't think of the name of it. Anyway, I'll come back to that in a minute. Z-Craw, Zoom Z-Craw. I like to put one of those on the back of my swim jig. Excuse me. I'll thread it on there sideways so the tails is up and in more of a natural position. They're not flat and flapping. They'll be up like this and flapping. They'll look more like a fin. One of my favorite swim jigs is the True Faith Custom Baits bluegill color, and I pair that with a Huckleberry Z-Craw. And then on my chatterbait or vibrating jig, True Faith Custom Baits makes, I like the Spunk Shad. That Spunk Shad has a good tail on it. I always get the 5-inch ones, and if I want it shorter, I just cut some of it off. That 5-inch has a good longer tail, and it whips back and forth really well. And if I don't want that larger profile, I'll cut an inch or inch and a half off of it and thread it on there and get some awesome action out of that Spunk Shad on my vibrating jig. I'll have a True Faith Custom Bait jig tied on, bluegill color, crawdad colors, usually a 1/2 ounce. I'm so sorry. Excuse me again. I don't know why I'm so tired. Been up too long, I guess. Anyway, True Faith custom bait jig. Fish it from 0 out to 20 feet. Fishing it on points, around laydowns, rock piles, just any kind of cover I can find, anywhere from 0 to 20 feet deep. The fish are going to be starting to move this month, so you're going to start seeing more fish up shallower than what they have been. And you can find, get up there where the water has warmed up around rocks and stuff, especially up in the rivers, and especially if you get a good warm rain. We're supposed to get some rain and thunderstorms tomorrow. That's supposed to be, I think, in the low 60s, so that'll be a good warm rain, and that warm water flowing in to the backs of creeks and stuff will warm that water up in those areas, and that can be an awesome place to go find some bass. Tie on that spinner bait, swim jig, chatterbait, any of that, and go find that, run off and go have a blast. I mean a blast. And then finally it's coming back. It's time to tie on the wobble head with one of my favorite plastics in the world, because I've won a lot of money off of them, and that would be the Big Bite Bait Fighting Frog. Put that on a wobble head, 1/2 ounce, and slowly reel, drag, whatever, along the bottom, anywhere from 0 to 20 feet, rock piles, laydowns, brush piles, boat docks, whatever, and go to work. It is time to tie that wobble head back on, put your Big Bite Baits Fighting Frog on, and I promise you that you will catch some fish. And another great bait on that wobble head is the Z-Craw. You can hammer them with that Z-Craw as well. It's the time of year where you're going to start working the secondary points and working your way back in the coves, because those fish is going to be moving. It's not quite to where you want to go all the way to the deepest water before the spawning flats yet, but it's going to come pretty quick. It'll be here by the end of March. You'll find that deepest water right there at the spawning flats. Watch for where the creek channel bends, right there at the spawning flat, end of a bluff bank or end of a steep bank where it starts to transition into the flats. Just wherever that last deep water is before the spawning flat, that's where they're going to congregate. If you can find a brush pile or make you a brush pile right there in one of those areas, you can make yourself one heck of a honey hole. But anyway, those are my top baits. Going to be my top baits for March. Also a buzz bait, because the water temperature is going to hit 50 this month. Sometime in March the water temperature will hit 50. Once that water temperature hits 50, that buzz bait is getting tied on, and I may not get too many bites during the day, but I promise you they'll be the right bites of the day. Use a bigger buzz bait blade. Use the bigger blade so you can reel it real slow until that water hits 55, 56, 57 degrees in the upper 50s, gets close to 60, then you can speed up a little bit. But throw that buzz bait out there. Put it on the bank, because a lot of those fish, you're going to be surprised. You're going to catch a lot of those fish in just inches of water. So put it on the bank, start your slow retrieve just enough to keep that blade popping the top. It plap, 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 plap. And as soon as that water hits 50, buzz bait, slow roll that thing in. You're going to catch some big bass doing that. But anyway, I'm going to get off of here. It's about time to move up in the line to get the kids. I hope you have a very blessed week. If you need anything, you let me know. If you have any comments, please leave them below. And as always, please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. And I will see you guys out on the water.